What is going on, Panthers Nation? Got a fun episode for y'all today. I went on a live stream with Just Bland a night ago, 2 nights ago. I don't remember, but I hope you all enjoy. This is a copy of that version. Make sure you go out and support him. Follow him on Twitter as well as on YouTube and, of course, everywhere else. But anyways, that's all. Enjoy.
Y'all, I'm so close. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit the intro, nail it one day. We got a special guest. You guys already know who the special guest is, right? I don't know if it's a mystery. Do you like the mystery? Turn some music down. Let me get the audio going. All right. Straight from Twitterland. Straight from Twitterland. 2 growls, 1 roar. What's up, man?
What's good?
Dude,
I feel like you need like that. I don't know if you listen to Smartless, the Smartless podcast.
no. What is that?
Bateman. It's like Jason Bateman, Will Arnett. And I missed the third one, which I should know.
Uh-huh.
But they bring, so they don't tell each other who the guest is going to be. They just read off like bits and pieces of their career and like this.
Dude.
I feel like you could do that for Panthers fans.
And they would know who it is too.
That's right. This guy goes by 2 growls, 1 roar. I'm never gonna guess. What's up, man?
Not much, dude. Just living the life. What about yourself?
It's great. Aim. It is. It's fun. Like I thought it'd be good to talk content. I don't even know where you're located.
Oh,
what state are you in?
I'm in Dallas.
Nice, man.
I'm in Dallas.
Got a big game? You Dallas Mavericks fan?
Dude, I'm trying not to watch it. You've got my attention. I'm the worst at planning stuff, apparently. No, you take priority.
It's good, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I had no idea. I tried to like keep up with everyone, and then I know you were raising money for training camp.
Yes.
But I've been able to like follow, and everyone's spread out. And then Obi, who you had on last week with all the jerseys, that's amazing. Dude, y'all are entertaining. Like seriously, I was laughing.
I swear, like I don't have to do much. I just let Obi take the wheel. I have to kind of like monitor him, but that's pretty much it.
Like, hey, hold on.
I see him whenever he goes. If he goes a little off to the dark side, I have to steer him back. But
you're like, wait, man, it's a kid friendly show. Not really, but
so we have. Why is that cutting off like that? That's weird. I had this thing so nice. I can't even find it. Anyways, we go into these things. No plans.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Bland
and Friends. You're all over Twitter. You're on a ton of social medias, right?
I am. I'm spread out. I'm spread thin. One-man show. So I do have Instagram. I have TikTok. I didn't have TikTok until this year.
Yeah.
Which my wife couldn't believe that. She always sends me TikToks and I ignore them. And now I have it. So I'm on there. YouTube is like the biggest one that I'm pushing now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually on Facebook. But a lot of what I do is tied into trying to automate that stuff. Like I understand. I also wonder it sometimes, like, what is the true value of me being on these sites? Like X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, seems to be the most value right now for me, as far as engagement outside of YouTube. And so there are days where I'm like, why am I posting on Instagram with a reel or sending something to TikTok. Luckily, I have Opus Clips, so I use the Opus Clips, and I take my podcast or whatever I record, throw it in there, let them do their AI crap.
What?
It generates a BS title and description.
Dude,
It was
you're
so
gonna have to show
funny.
me
I
this.
posted, yeah, I posted one the other day, and because before all this stuff, I would actually go out, clip my content, put it out, thoughtfully think about what I was doing. This thing does it for you, which
What?
is nice. Yeah, you take your content, plug in the link. It will spit out clips of your content, add in captions. Captions can be hit or miss. Like you have to. That's where I get lazy too, because I'm like, I don't actually want to go back and edit some of this content.
Yeah. It's rough.
It's gonna misspell Julius Peppers or Bryce Young. And
Dude,
like,
it's
whatever.
rough.
I'll have somebody.
And that's my biggest.
I don't know for you, man.
Yeah, the guests that I've had on recently, like, I want to do all types of editing. I want to do like best of this episode type stuff, and dude, it's rough. And it's just like an hour and a half of content, and I'm just like so busy with other stuff and just juggling. It's a struggle, man.
So much, man. And I personally don't know how you do everything that you do on X. It blows my mind.
I'm a mess. And the funny part, like, the funny part is, like, if you get me on a delirious day, which today is a delirious day, I won't shut up. Like, just stupid random thoughts pop in my head. I had a Bill Voth. Is it Voth?
Yeah.
Post today. And it was like, I'd just be thinking of him. Nobody talks about Bill Voth. I miss him with the Panthers. Like, that dude was entertaining to me.
No. Yeah, it blows my mind how quickly you get out the content, whether it's a video, whether it's a picture.
It's a race.
Like, yeah, it is a race, man.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I've like way back when I thought that would be part of an avenue I would attempt to do. Now I can't do it. And kudos to you, man, because I just can't. Like, I've tried, like, way back. I was like, I'll clip some press conferences. I'll do this. I can't do it. And so, like, I have to, like, pick and choose. And I was like, well, I'll just pick a voice, whatever my opinion is, and hopefully people will latch on to it, and that'll be it.
Hey.
But it's great. Like, I think the stuff that you do, too, is educational. Fans who may miss something or not see a post or see a highlight. It's great.
Well, and I think that's what I've become too. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and it's like evolved too over the time. Like, there were things that I would pick and choose what to put on there, or if I was too late, I wouldn't do it. But now it's like I want to have it on there. So one, for the streams, I can just go back to it and like get the entire week. Like, I don't know if you saw Montefiore, I tagged you on that one. So
yeah.
It's like you had a list, dude. That was like everything we can talk about.
Perfect.
I know, like, Monty, if you see this, you're killing it. Wrote the entire script.
Kind of set the world on fire too, by the way. So we may have some upset Panthers fans that are lurking on the stream today.
What did you do?
Because I set fire to this whole Eddie Pinheiro thing.
What did you do?
Talk about later. I started the conversation that I personally, I haven't talked about this on my podcast yet. I don't think it's that big of a deal that he's not there at OTAs yet. I get that he's out doing his thing, vacationing, and he's a middle tier NFL kicker. And I'm not super worried. And that's really been the stance, but I, of course, like told different things and things that just kind of set people off. One, which I knew better than this. I pulled the field goal percentages, NFL field goal percentages all time.
Oh.
And you have Justin Tucker, then Harrison Butker.
I did see you did that.
Pinheiro.
You did not do that.
I was like, look, Eddie Pinheiro is third all time. We're not even
You
going
do
to look at the
not.
attempts and the fact that he has like 500 less field goals made or 400 less than Justin Tucker. That was number one. And then things just spiral from there because like people took that tweet and then quoted me, and then they turned it into this and like,
Mm.
oh, you're saying he's the best kicker of all time. It was funny. So we still had the thread running here as I was getting on this. But I like to tell people, like, the one thing I hate about X, and the reason I didn't use it for probably 7 years is the feuds that happen. And sometimes it's hard to convey. Like, as we're talking right now, it's comical, like, to me, a lot of stuff. And I like to come from a comical approach for a lot of this. And like, you can't convey that, and people will get twisted, upset, back and forth with things. And anyways, yes, I set the world on fire with that, which is fun, and just kind of sat there and watched it burn.
So Insane Gaming in the chat, he said, I seen that. They went mad. So it says.
They did. It went very mad. So I could delete it and just like pretend it didn't happen. Or I could really get into it and just feed into it.
Honestly, like,
I hate doing that. Yeah.
All right. My thing is like, I'm not going to delete. If it's out there, it's out there, right?
Leave it.
And
you said it.
If I don't like today, I woke up in just like a shitty mood. Like, I had a project going out. I had to be up early. I was gonna be up like stupid early, right? And then I couldn't sleep last night. I couldn't sleep, and then I woke up and I'm like, I didn't get to sleep. I'm all pissy. I gotta get this project out, and I had a tweet last night of Bryce Young running, which everybody's like, it's driving everybody crazy. I don't know if you saw that one. It's just literally him sprinting, right?
Yeah.
It's just him sprinting. Like, it's dope. Like, he looks like a solid, like, freaking sprinter. Like, he's just trucking it, right? And people are like just blowing it up, and then like,
oh god,
I don't know, man. I wasn't having it this morning, and if I don't know, I try not to respond to any like hate out there. Like, I try not to keep it going,
Yep.
So I guess ignoring it is my, I don't know.
Yeah. It's very tough because part of you always, it feels like it's on a personal level, whatever it is, even if it's not, and you just take it and you're like, no, whatever the opinion is, or you didn't mean it this way. And that is the hardest thing about this, is choosing what to respond to, what not to respond to. Honestly, I've gotten out of, like, this is the first time I've had one really blow up in a while.
Oh yeah.
Most of them have been pretty low key, which I'm grateful. Like, I'll sit in the space that I am on there, and have people interact, but it can ruin. Like, it can. I don't know if people like it can ruin your day to get on and you're like, oh great, we got 50 tweets, which I can't imagine some, for you, for different things, and like you're just like, oh god, really? This is what we're gonna do, and like this is the path that people are gonna take today. Like, this sucks. Like,
dude, don't let it
I don't want to deal with this.
Don't let it get to you, man.
That's it.
Back on Eddie. This is my opinion. He should be there because, one, new coaching, right? New coaching. They bring in the thicker kicker.
The thicker kicker.
And dude is like gunning for Eddie's job, and he's not there to like.
It really is
defend himself. Like, what are you doing? I get that he's consistent, steady Eddie. You're consistent, but someone's out for your job. You should be there.
Yeah, it is. It is like, out of all the storylines, it's not the one that I expected. Which I think a lot of people on like Panthers Twitter have said, like, did not think that would be a storyline we would be talking about today, this year, whatever, this week. I agree. One, I am in, like, believe, even though I am a supporter of Eddie, I like the competition, and I like Canales' approach to the situation more so than like I did last year with Frank Reich. So Canales seems to just take things head on and like
Yeah.
address it. Yep, he's been looking great, and we're glad that we have the people here that
Yes.
are here.
And what's cool is like he's playing chess too. Like he's out there
He
playing
is.
mind games. Like
Put
his
some pressure on Eddie,
Yes.
thinking his job is truly going to be at risk if he's not here. Like I would be like doing the same game.
and what's funny, okay, there's another post out there saying like I don't know if you follow Canther. He was pretty much wondering why Canales would be so open about the run game. Dude,
Yeah.
think about this. Okay, so if you're known for running the ball, what are you going to do? They're going to protect the run against the run, right? And then
Yep.
I swear, like he's playing mind games where he can show up with whatever he wants to do.
Run.
Dude, he can show up
Yep.
with whatever he wants to do because you're going to try to guard the run.
You're thinking he's going to be running the ball 30, 40 times a game.
And what's funny is like his first preseason game, I made a post about this. His first preseason game with Tampa Bay, dude ran the ball 3 times in a row. First possession, 3 times in a row. But now he'll like switch it up to play action, throwing, just whatever he wants to do. Because now he's in their mind, like, because he's got control.
Yeah,
Chess, man.
I agree. It is chess. I just thinking about him too, following Frank Reich and listening to him last year. I thought it was pretty normal, or just listening to Frank, that he would defer a lot of these questions to like Dan Morgan, or that's not really be my business type thing. Just to see Dave, like we kind of just talked about, just taking it head on though. I think he is playing chess in his mind games. He like wants Eddie sweating vacation, wherever this tropical place.
Dude, what is he doing?
I don't know, man.
What are you doing?
Hey, I will say this, the Eddie bashing. Eddie, as a person, fantastic human. So like we went to training camp the last 2 years, and last year, like every day he was out there making sure to sign autographs. Which, like, what else are they going to do? Because they're just kicking the ball a few times.
Yeah,
him and Hecker. It's like they're all really good, like the special teams unit. So I will say from a personal perspective, like very nice guy. But yeah, you need to get here and you need to start maybe kicking a little bit more. We will see.
I want to get into the wide receivers and I guess what's going on there. Real quick, 2 growls, 1 roar. Where'd you come up with it? Do you go by 2 growls?
Oh, yeah, great question. I started one. I'm just gonna stack layers.
Let's go
on this. Yeah. So show wise, as far as me personally, I go by Carolina Dad. Whole reason unrelated to Panthers why I chose that. It was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I tried this swing at comedy on Instagram or Facebook. It was on.
There's no way.
It's terrible.
That's so cool.
Not stand-up comedy.
Oh.
Just stupid like.
But still, you're putting yourself out there.
I don't even know who to compare it to, but it was sketch comedy is like a bad, very bad.
I did that well. Stuff, man. I know
this. If people find it, right? So I took that name and was like, well, that'll be the stage name. I'll carry it through. 2 Growls, 1 Roar. It was originally 2 states, 1 team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd used 2 states, 1 team, started the podcast. And it was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months in. It was actually a training camp where we were lucky enough, like our family, my in-laws live in Spartanburg. We were down in Spartanburg. Father-in-law is like a risk manager. He's always thinking about things that just like the normal person doesn't think about. And he was like, hey, your podcast, I really like it. Because he does keep up with it. He was like, the name, have you checked to see if that's like licensed by the Panther? Uh-huh. I was like, no, I don't care. And he's like, you might want to go out and look. And so I go out and look, and sure enough, it's like one of their registered trademarks.
There's no way.
So at that time I was like, well, I could continue down this path, and knowing that they probably wouldn't come for me, but also knowing that it would probably make it a little bit difficult if I did want to brand stuff or
Mhm.
like eventually get gear. Just thinking big picture, and so I was like, well, I'll change it to Two Growls, One Roar, which is not the greatest when I had it, but it was like just I didn't want to deviate too far from Two States, One Team because it was already there,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of people already knew that. And so I was like, I'll change it to this, and then yeah, it's pretty much where I landed, and was like, well, I guess the other nice thing is like all the handles on like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, it's all the same.
Mhm.
That's the one nice thing about it is like nobody else wants Two Growls, One
Dude,
Roar.
no,
The handle.
I think you like struck gold with that one because it sounds way better than Two States, One Team.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It
Yeah.
was a journey, but and then so adding in more layers, like why I don't give out my real name. It's funny. So I also in the season a lot more, in the off season not so much. Get on ESPN Wilmington here. So I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, or outside of it. So we get on there, talk to the local host about Panthers, and he's always trying to like crack my name, and I go by Carolina Dad. But again, I just decided when I was going to do this podcast that I wanted to not let people know my name. But the only reason that I don't want people or never wanted people to know is I also had a past life as a rapper. And so, yes,
Dude.
so I talked about it on, it was the Fantasy Roadshow, the Fantasy Truck Roadshow podcast. I talked a little bit about that with them. I've never really talked about it on my show.
Dude, that's too funny.
So anyways, I did that in college and a stage name, and it just stuck with me
Uh-huh.
through, and it still like lingers. It's nothing
Carolina
bad,
Dad?
but it's like
Oh,
no.
Okay,
Totally
gotcha.
different name. Yeah. Totally different rap name. And I it's like I don't want, not that there would ever be anything bad on the podcast, but I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't want all that stuff bleeding through.
Dude, it's
I mean,
not like
maybe
the
one day I'll finally.
it's not like the Seventh Floor Crew, the G-Reg, right?
No, God. It was fun, man. It was a fun time when I did do it. Every now and then, I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to like actually have. This was the micro. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, the microphone that I used
Uh-huh.
when I was in doing all that fun stuff. But yeah, so,
So we got,
that's a very long story.
You're good. I like the layers. Like I like to be in the know, I guess. I don't know. We got Ricky
Yeah.
Raines in the chat saying, "Hey, what's up?" He knows
Good.
he knows your sketch comedy. I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is much respect to Carolina Dad. I appreciate being here,
Oh,
Ricky.
yeah. Ricky's awesome, man. The Ricky Bo Body Show, all those guys. There's a lot of good content creators out in Panthers Nation.
Ricky's one of those names. Now that we're on the subject, but I feel like
Who's Ricky?
he's gonna be like, if he keeps pushing it, that dude's gonna be working with Panthers or something on that level. Like, he's so close. He's like on the edge of it, I feel like.
He's so good. I agree. If you are watching this, Ricky, like truly mean it. There's another level too. Like just we did a round table Panthers breakdown. I don't remember. There was like 8 or 9 content creators, and he was on there, and it was just like this next level analysis that came through. And I mean, you hear it on the shows that they do too, which is awesome. I know he puts a ton of work in the draft guides and things like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree with you though, for sure. Keep it up, Ricky.
So looking at your background that you have behind you, I see a lot of old school Panther stuff. It seems like you've been a fan for quite some time. How did you get into being a fan?
Wish I could say I was diehard lifelong. So just growing up in Carolina, it was natural that it was on TV. But I'd say like the first half of my life, so 15 years, probably even longer, was a Green Bay fan
Yeah.
first. That's who my dad liked. I don't know why he liked Green Bay when we lived
Mhm.
in North Carolina. But he grew up, he liked Green Bay, so I liked Green Bay. But then, Panthers were the local team, so you always got to see them on TV. So for me, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. 03 Super Bowl run. It's like, oh, this is great. This, of course, I know they didn't win, but just seeing that. Then I went from Packers with Brett Favre and followed him. So I went to the Jets. I went to the Vikings. I bounced all around, man. And it was so funny because I get, my father-in-law, when I started dating my wife, I had a Minnesota Vikings license plate on the front of my car. He's like, what was going on with that, man? Like, what were you doing? I was like, I don't know. I was just like Brett Favre so much when he was playing, and I followed him. So really, that was what I think. I don't remember his last year, 11 or 12. I went to college, and then at that point, I was like, oh, this is a good time to reset.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I was actually close to the time they drafted Cam. And that's when I really started following. Of course, we know about like the success that they had during the Cam years.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me personally, as far as like getting into all this, like I always wanted to create a podcast. Like that was always one of those things like, this is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this. And I never knew what it was going to be about, whether it be interviewing people, whether it would be talking about running, because I run. And I finally just sat down one day and was like, no, it's going to be on this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a bumpy road, like getting into whatever this is going to be. I just chose the Panthers, and it's fun because I get an excuse to watch the Panthers on Sundays, because sometimes my wife's like, really, football? I'm like, but I got to watch it for the podcast. I got to be able to tell people what happened, even though they already know what happened.
Dude, we were talking about Dave Canales playing chess. Carolina dad playing chess, man.
That's right, man.
The early years, like, so I you probably heard my story that I didn't get to watch all the games because we got moved out to Dallas in 2001. But the early years were like, the Cam years were great, but something was different about the early ones, like just that run first. Okay, so with Dan Morgan being the GM, dude, I feel like he's just like waiting, just like so eager to have a solid defense and just like run first offense. Like I was thinking about like everybody's sleeping on our offense like completely, which is driving me crazy. But when I was kind of like picturing like just cooking with Jonathan Brooks and then Bryce just like doing whatever he wants, and I'm picturing like kind of like Drew Brees at helm, but with a solid run game. Something's coming, y'all. Like if you're not a fan now, like you're gonna be just.
You will,
on, dude. I'm telling you.
Seriously, it is the time. I really hope it is, man. Like just for our own sake and fandom. I mean, we've got our. Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Panthers Twitter is already like we're at rock bottom. We're just like
seriously, we are. We need to have better things to talk about right now. Seriously.
Wide receivers, not our top three. If you had to start a team with either TMJ or Mingo, which one would you start the team with? Build the team around. I'm sorry.
It's a good question. Actually, it's a really good question. I think for me, it's kind of a recency bias. I do think I'd still put my stock in Mingo.
Let's go.
Just today, I do think I would buy into Mingo, and I don't think we should write him off like right now. But that's not to say on the flip side that I also like, what is Terrace Marshall going to be I mean, for me, as all this kind of unfolded, I kept saying, when is he going to get cut? When is he going to get traded? When are we going to, like, is he even going to make it through into training camp? And he's like still here, and you hear Malice the other day talking pretty positively about him and being faster. I think I would take Mingo right now out of the two of those, only because we've kind of seen Terrace, last few years. And I know he had a little bit of a run there where it looked like things were going to turn the corner. He just had a bad situation around him. And if he is here, hope things do pan out and we do get some production. But I'm still taking Mingo though right now. What about you?
So when TMJ came out and said that he's requesting a trade, like if that happens, you're dead to me. I'm sorry, but
it's so true.
So I just broke all ties. I get that he's still trying to make the team and things like that and play to his potential. And like we were talking about Dave Canales again, what did he say recently? Like he's talking about Team J, how he's cooking, things like that, how he's looking for the potential. Dude, that's trade bait, man. I don't think
it is. Like, let's get this guy hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree. It is very hard to imagine. Like, that was your point, the trade request. I remember recording like a snippet of something like when that came through, and I was like, oh, he's going to be gone. Didn't happen. And then now it's like, how is he going to make it through here? And it partly like for his own sake, like I would want a fresh start. Like it just hasn't been what you thought it was going to be here. Maybe you land somewhere else, you get, rejuvenate whatever your career is going to be, or chance to kind of turn it around a little bit. But I do agree. Like as we get into the nitty gritty of those like back end roster moves, I think those are some of the, not Mingo, Terrace Marshall is going to be one that we'll have to watch for sure.
Zach Rappaport in the chat, he says, don't forget about June 1st cuts. It's coming up, man. Wonder what Dan Morgan's going to do.
Man, felt like June was months away.
Dude.
It's here.
I have a, you've got, how many boys do you have?
So we have the 14-year-old, because he's my nephew that we've adopted.
Oh, that's so
and then a 16 months. I had to remember. It's about to say 1.5, but 16 months. So yeah, the two.
And just two kiddos?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, okay, so I got you beat. I've got 3 boys.
Oh, man.
I've got 3 boys, and one
Nice.
turns 1 in like 2 weeks, which is like driving me crazy. Like, I'm not ready.
Man.
He's like starting to walk too. He's way ahead of the other 2. Like, it's crazy.
It goes by. It's so fast too. Like, for me, I'm like, good gosh, man, you were just like crawling around. And it was funny today too. He was just, I don't even remember what we were doing. He can walk, he can run basically. And just got down and crawled. And I was like, what are you doing? Are you just playing around? I don't even remember why, but. And yeah, we do shun for all Panthers fans. We shun our oldest because he is a Ravens fan.
Ooh.
But hey, at least he's got some winning football.
Did I?
It was one of those where, yeah, when he moved in with us, he played Pop Warner, and the Pop Warner team was the Ravens, and he was so young that he was like, "Oh, I'll pick the Ravens," and like it all coordinated because they had Lamar, they won, and he was like, "Oh, I like pulling for teams that win." It's not fun for me having to hear him slander the Panthers and like, why do you pull for them?
Dude,
it's not that bad, but it does.
Something about the underdog story, and
yep.
You probably heard that I'm the curse, right? And I love being the underdog story. What's about him?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they might be forever the underdog, man. They like 2015.
Yeah,
they're like. How many games were they undefeated, and they were still the underdog going into Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They were. It really is, man.
I had a thought when we were talking about Team J. All right, he rocks number 88, right?
Yep.
Who wore 88 before our all-star tight end?
Ooh, this is Panthers trivia because
Is Greg Olson.
I,
Greg Olson, right?
yeah, Olsen, right, yeah.
And we have a new tight end that just came in, right? And he's over here talking about how he wants to be the next Greg Olson. You with me?
All in it, man.
And where did he? So he played for Texas, and he's rocking the number 0.
Yes.
And he comes to, and the number 0 is available. Oh shit! Okay, the number 0 is available, but he says he picked 85 so he can earn number 0.
Yeah.
What if he's just waiting for that 88?
It's like, I really need the 88. Take over, truly live out, and be that next Olsen.
How crazy would that be?
That would be nice, man. It really would be. I even saw Greg Olson post or repost one of those. I know the NFL Legacy. I think I posted
today,
a few weeks
this
ago.
Afternoon.
I saw him repost his highlights. It was pretty cool just to see him like engaged and with everything here. But yeah, that would be nice, man.
I get frustrated thinking about Greg Olson because I'm thinking about Tom Brady taking his job. Ridiculous.
I know, man.
I hope it bites him in the ass. Like, I hope that just Fox is just
Brady's just terrible. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I shouldn't have.
It's a tough. So like going from like Fox's perspective, I'm sure they were like, "Oh, Brady's this huge name. I'm gonna pay him a ton of money.
Grass is all green.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this is going to be our grand plan. He's going to bring us this much, exposure. Oh yeah, we'll have Greg Olson over here. Who knows what he's going to be? They definitely did not expect him to be as good as he is. I think even with him coming out saying it, it's just like that competitor mentality. He wants to be the best at what he's doing and broadcasting, and I don't know how the contract side works with Fox. I would expect like suitors to be in the water, like, hey, you want to come over here and take over, our number 1 spot, wherever that is, especially with all these like streaming, whatever's going on in the world of streaming with these add-ons. And not that he would just go to Netflix for 2 games, but all those additional streaming services. But I hope he gets the number 1 gig somewhere eventually, because he definitely has proven that he's good at what he does.
Okay. What's crazy about that too is he wins this award for like best commentator. Did you see that?
He gets the freaking Emmy.
Yeah, is it an Emmy? Is that what he got?
I think it was a sports Emmy. Is it a sports Emmy? Now I'm like second guessing if I'm like an Oscar. Is it Emmy music?
So like he gets that, and then on top of that, like there's a push for, even in the NBA, after what the Manning brothers have done, there's a push for having like you watch them watch the game. Like NBA's doing that. There's like an alternate cast. I can't
Kevin
picture.
Hart, right?
Well, I guess that's with ESPN, but I'm sure there's a push for
that one.
I bet you the other channels are looking to do that.
That's true. Yeah. If Fox wanted to deviate into something like that.
Who would you put out there, though? If you could put any Panther players, who would you put out there, man?
I think you gotta have to put Steve Smith.
It's gotta be.
He would be up there. You just know it. Like, he's already into broadcasting, and he's a character. Like, I think he'd be very entertaining. Yeah, great. That's a good point, man. I saw that the NBA, like, everyone's copying the Manning cast, and like I wonder how many people are watching it. I guess it's good for them in a way that they get more exposure or more. I don't know how that splits up the views and ratings.
Yeah,
how many people really tune in to that stuff? I don't it's wild. It's even, I don't know. I think they did that college football too with Pat McAfee, like at the end of the year, maybe. Maybe I'm imagining. It's like it's a copycat world. Like,
Mhm.
oh, that works really well. Baseball, I've seen it in baseball. A-Rod.
Oh, are they doing that?
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
was. I think, don't quote me, but I think they've got their own spin-off of like the David Ortiz. I don't know if they're all together, but I know they tried their own thing too. It's, man, just in general. Like, I know we're Panthers, but like keeping up with the world of college sports is freaking insane right now. I, I don't even know what's happening. I don't know if I ever will with everything that's going on
Dude,
there.
there's something that like they just started to do the NIL and like and NCAA football's coming back on video games.
Be big.
And the funniest thing is like there's this one player that is suing his old team. I don't know all the details, but and or teams like it slips in my mind right now, but
Mm-hmm.
he's suing the old team because they promised him all this money and he never got it.
Yeah, $13 million
Something
or
crazy,
something
right?
crazy.
And so now like
Yes.
all this stuff is like finally coming back. Like NCAA is finally coming back. They're paying these players, and I feel like they're just gonna like they're gonna close this thing like so fast.
Yeah. Like, it's not gonna. I'm with you. I don't know if it's related or unrelated to the House settlement. I don't. This is. I'm not a politician, and I'm also like not very in the weeds with college. What's happening there, at least recently. But I also thought they're also planning to do something to like back pay NIL. I don't know if it's directly NIL. Back pay athletes 10 years or something on top of everything else that's happening. I don't know where the money's coming from. Like, I mean, in general, just I know they talk about the billions of dollars and the TV contracts and like
Mm-hmm.
I know the universities too have their collectives and they're paying the money out to the kids. It's hard for me, and maybe it's just I'm just too poor, but I can never imagine that I would go out to a school that I went to and say, "Oh yeah, here's $1 million check for you to recruit this player that may stay with us for a year." And I don't. I mean, it's out there because they people who are wealthy enough or run their businesses want to see their school succeed. I don't. No,
It's
we did. I
crazy,
did
right?
not plan on talking about that, but it's just a wild world right now with all that.
So Zach's got the info. It was the Florida Gators. I
Nice.
forget the other team though that I guess he went to, or yeah.
It's
Um,
what how I just don't understand how you could get like where in the negotiations do you say, oh yeah, we're going to offer you $13 million to, and this I don't know if this is a transfer or if he's like coming out of high school, but that is just insane. I don't know.
I
No
there
salary cap or yeah.
there's also talks with which with college football like potentially going with like a pro team. Have you heard about this?
No, not. I've kind of always wondered if or when it would happen or a variation of it.
So think about that. Like, um, Florida Gators are a good example. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, you could go play for like their pro team, and they could have like their own league and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
like the big name I would think about coming back would be like Tim Tebow being their quarterback for the Florida Gators again, like professionally. I guess I don't know. That would be kind of wild. It would throw like a big wrench at NFL. It's like everybody's takes jabs at him, like with XFL, UFL,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. I don't know. That'd probably be like their biggest contender if they could pull something like that. Because everybody's loyal to their teams, man, or their
They really
schools.
are. I mean, the school, the atmosphere, it's college sport.
The
Well,
atmosphere, right?
primarily like the bigger.
Dude,
It's so much. It's just a different beast.
what
Yeah,
what did we
it,
do?
yeah, it's wild.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for like Bryce Young coming in and that being his first year, just like
Yeah, he's like, all right, I went from Alabama, SEC
it,
environment,
dude, the
one of the
stands
best,
is so
to
rough to
Bank of America
watch.
Stadium. And
So rough to
then
watch,
you
man.
see the thing I don't know is I'm not a big soccer guy, but also I know Charlotte FC. They do a fantastic job. Like the fans there, the experience from like the clips I've seen. I don't know how you translate that into, and maybe there's just more passion that with the NFL, there's a lot of people that have moved to Carolina or are close to Carolina that bring their NFL with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be part of it. People just don't care. And then like you have Charlotte FC. There's really not competition. I mean, there's Atlanta, whatever they are, and it's like this new thing. A lot of people locally can latch on. They're like, oh well, I'm here in Charlotte. Let's support the city. It's different with NFL is like bigger than this city, where I feel like MLS and the Charlotte FC kind of brings probably people in that may like different backgrounds and things like that. I don't know. I always wonder like how we would ever get to something like that. I don't know that you will, but
You think it's the pricing?
when
Like, it's got to be the pricing, right? To go to a Charlotte game
yeah,
versus.
that's a good point too. Yeah, because the ticket price is probably much different between an MLS match and a
Dude,
NFL game for sure.
got me thinking about Tepper. You got me thinking about Tepper. I watched. I was
Yep.
actually gonna do a post like recently, um, maybe today. I think I saw it on TikTok. So I'm new to TikTok too, and
Mhm.
there was the water cup. I saw it. I was gonna do
Mhm.
something for on Twitter, but yeah, I didn't want to like bring up. I don't know. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
Fitterer now.
I
I'm
know.
just
It
in
just
bad
continues.
mood, man.
I I will say, speaking of the water cup, I think you posted it. It runs together.
Oh, Atlanta.
I didn't realize Atlanta. I was like, that was so smart.
That was
I'm
dirty.
like, what a jab!
That
It
was
was so
dirty.
dirty, man. But I saw that, I was like, oh wow, whoever was, it's when you think about like NFL trash talk between teams doesn't really happen online. Like it's pretty clean. I mean, maybe every now and then. It's like that NFL schedule release is the one time that you have that freedom, or at least the creators do, to
Mhm.
really like step on some toes. Especially was it the Chargers and
Mhm.
Harrison Buck, like all those, like you're just like, whoa! If they were just to tweet that out today, people would be like, okay, hold up, you can't do that. It's like, oh, it was a schedule release. Okay, we'll let it happen. We'll let it go
It's
through.
funny we took a
Wild.
different approach this year too, and
Yeah.
I had a post like just ready. I didn't care what Panthers media did. I was just ready to do whatever, right? And
Yeah.
they took just completely different approach from last year. They were kind of going at other teams, and then they had that old school retro, like you're growing up in the early 2000s. That was the coolest thing.
Hmm.
Um, but
That was nice.
it's like they got I don't know how their meetings go, but they had to have gotten word that like, hey, we're going to take a different approach this year. But it's funny, like Chargers are just known for like their anime thing is so funny. Their anime is
Yeah.
funny. The Sims was just hilarious. What were they? The Sims? That was Sims, right?
Yeah. I think they were the Sims, right? Yep.
Um, and they started the Sims thing out by like putting people in the water and then taking away their exit.
Yes. It's like,
Dude,
good
did you
gosh.
ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, I did play The Sims, but not Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I never played Sims, but I played Roller Coaster, right?
Mm,
And it's like the same thing. Like you drop these people in the water. Dude, it's awful.
can't fake it. That is so funny.
um, any games you're looking forward to this year, or are you going to any?
Good. No, we are. just with the family, it's last year was almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
We got very close at the end once ticket prices dropped. Thinking about it, I haven't really sat down. We plan like a college football game with our family that we'll go to. On my wife's side, Panthers, I'd love to. It's only like 3.5 hours. Game that I'm really in general looking forward to, just because it's like in my mind a really big game is the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be a little bit later in the year. At that point, we should really like know who this team is going to be. And I don't know how the Chiefs are going to be this year. Do you think they'd be pretty good? And I think it's just like a measuring stick for, are we heading in the right direction? And I know a lot of things can happen before that as far as the records, and we could be going into that. I don't even want to throw anything out, but we could be doing really well or really bad. But I'd still think that is a really big game in my mind. Yeah, I think that's probably.
I think that that Chiefs game is like a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are into like, and what's funny is like every single week Chiefs have been on the news about one of their players just like doing something stupid, man. Every single week.
Seriously, it doesn't stop.
What is this one now? Like headline. Animal abuse?
Yeah, which I don't know what. I haven't read it, but I did see the player himself in. But oh yeah, it's right on my. I guess my summary on X.
Oh, was it talking about it?
The Explorers. This Chiefs offseason controversy, strategy, and change. I guess is it Twitter's AI summary? Yeah, it is. Yeah, defensive lineman turned himself in on charges of mistreating 2 dogs. Oh man. It's they've had I will be curious to see how because like winning program, winning organization, team usually can weather some storms, but that's wild. What else is going on there?
All right, so I'm going down. I'm going down Fetty's list. We've covered everything, but Icky.
Nice. Icky.
What are you thinking, man?
So I saw his presser. I was a little surprised at his openness, where he was saying that he just rode.
That's crazy.
Coattail.
That is crazy.
That's a pretty bold,
and not listening to the coaches and stuff like that, or not reaching out to them.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that was the most concerning thing, and I don't know if it's more around everything that was happening, or if it was just his decision that he's like, oh no, I'm good. I know how to do what I'm doing, and I can do it well. It's wild though to hear him come out and say, yeah, I was kind of just riding off of the wave of the first year, and being content and not seeking help when things are going bad. Like that does make you say, okay, things aren't going well. You need someone in your corner, whether it is a coach, someone else on this team. It's him being a second year, which now he's the third year, and it sounds like that's going to happen. You got to have that, whether it's a Taylor Moton, whoever. Hey man, talk through this, or what's going on. I really think you have to have that leadership to help guide guys like that. And I know they may or may not listen, but at least being able to be as much of a leader as you can for guys like that. So I hope he rebounds. And I know, to your point, there's a lot of talk about running the ball again. That's going to help him out in this offense. But I do think it's a big year for him. I don't know if we'd be talking about drafting another tackle next year, but be a lot more realistic at least. from my perspective. And you also have the swing tackle behind him, Josh, that I don't know. He may be competing, giving some pressure to Icky, but what do you think, man?
I don't know. You've got like freaking Bryce's career on the line.
Do
Even the preseason Jets game, where it's like that picture of Bryce like just getting destroyed and Icky in the background,
Ooh.
like
Oh god,
looked like he was freaking smirking. Oh man,
I know. Yeah, it was rough, and now we get to relive that
I've got
with
your
the Jets and the Priest.
I've got your skit for you. So your skit should be like Bryce watching that interview.
Dude, man, you know who would do a fantastic job with that?
Who?
Your is it Brandon Ezekiel Serper? Yes, sir.
Oh,
But
dude,
he
man.
would crush that.
We'll have to see
You
what
gotta tell him like, hey, this is a skit for you, man.
he would kill that. Oh my god. We'll have to reach out to him. He had
It's
a,
so
a
wild.
schedule releases this weekend. I didn't get to watch most of it, but he's cooking out there.
Yeah, he is, man. It was wild. It's just to see it like take off. It's cool for you to get it. Like I try to like follow along the people that you bring on. It's cool to get fans or like different connections to the Panthers, which is nice. I way back. So one, I don't have guests on my stuff yet, which I should eventually get there. Partly the reason I don't is it's gonna be bad, but like I hate committing to like a date and time. It's like with kids, things just it's like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this time. When somebody else reaches out, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll throw it on the calendar. But for me, it's like I don't want it to be like a mundane thing where it's like, oh, you got to do it at this time, or if I'm not feeling it or whatever it is. But I keep saying it's got to happen. But it's cool for all the stuff that you do, bringing on different folks to expose to like the world, the Panthers universe, whatever this is.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm kind of new. I'm still trying to learn Panthers Twitter, but it's been like a blast bringing people on here and getting to know them different than what you would over the internet. And kind of like I don't know if you follow Ben. Ben had a post recently saying like people can't read his sarcasm through text. Dude, yeah. So here you can be yourself, man.
That's right. Keep purring, Ben.
Yeah, keep purring. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get him on the stream.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get him. I forget his buddy's name.
Eric, I think is
Eric. I play chess with him too. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Before we wrap things up, you said you used to run or still run. Any personal records you want to gloat about?
I wish. I run. I wish I always had a lot of aspirations with running. I run like 4 to 5 days a week, like 4-ish miles, anywhere from like 3.5 to 4.5 miles. I used to train for stuff and say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run. I did run a marathon. That was like 2 years ago.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like my body, it was a beast. Like the half was fine. Like I ran the half and I was like, oh, this is great. I feel good. And then the second half was like, this is the worst decision. And I think it's similar to the podcast stuff where running a race or event makes you have to go through like a training plan, and it's a lot. Like the miles, the time you have to spend, it gets to you. But I just passed. I was looking at like the run tracker that I have, and I've started tracking 4. It had to be 4 years ago, a little over 4. But I just passed 4,000 miles running over the last whatever it is,
crap.
4.5 years. I also love to say that I'm like super skinny and lean and fit. That I eat like crap. That's part of the reason I run. Like I'm like balance out.
Dude, I feel that. I
I
have a
eat a
history
little
with
bit
running too.
healthier.
I feel that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was gonna mention like the worst thing is to take a break, and it always happens. Like I always take a break, and then I have to like get myself back into shape, and
Dude,
it's
it's
hard.
so
Dude.
hard.
My thing
It
lately
is.
is like dehydration. I didn't have that, and at my younger years, but just like
It's the worst.
I'll get like headaches after I'm done running.
I can't, man. Yep.
Yeah.
It is, and those headaches, man, they're bad. Like
Yeah.
I've had, so that was, yeah, to your, like on my long runs, every time. And I was like, why am I like putting myself through this?
Mhm.
And I'm like, what is the actual joy in doing all this? And I was like, I can't. Go to coaching. But
Have you seen that? I appreciate you, Zach. You would see that, dude.
yeah.
Tiger hooked that up. That is a personal like hookup. Oh my god, that's funny.
So,
Yeah, dude. I appreciate you coming out on the stream. This is awesome. Carolina Dad,
good, man.
2 growls, 1 roar.
Got it.
We know the story.
Sorry, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude. If you have a chance, we're gonna actually have a back-to-back stream. We're gonna have a Panthers Magpie on tomorrow at 3 p.m. I don't know where he
Nice.
is overseas, but he's gonna be
Yeah.
on the stream. But
Dude, that's awesome, man.
yeah, again, I appreciate you coming out here. Any last words?
Nah, man. Keep up the great work. Thanks for having me on. Thank you, Panthers Nation. Sorry for making you mad earlier. It'll be okay. Nah, it's great. I appreciate it, man.
Can I get a keep pounding?
Keep pads, bro.
Let's go. All right, I
Sure.
appreciate you. Y'all, that was a good interview, right? We're getting better, man. We're getting better. I appreciate 2 growls, 1 roar for being on this. We do have a bunch more guests coming, guys. They're coming. We're getting better. I appreciate the sub. I appreciate the sub, Zach. I gotta go catch this Mavs game. I don't even want to know the score. I think I can catch up without knowing the score. Hit that like, sub, go follow 2 growls, 1 roar on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. What else did he say? Oh, YouTube's. Is that it? No, he's on more. He's on.